Hello! Hello, everybody. Are we on? Hello, hello. Welcome to the second issue of Topflight, superhero RPG insanity. How's everybody doing today? You players. Has everyone recovered from last week?
Recovered.
No.
You mean the abject slaughter of everything we knew?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The world
thought
being
last
turned
week
upside down?
I thought last week went great. You guys want to fight?
Yeah, I threw a boar through a ghost.
Two boars.
Yeah.
Well, I missed with the first one. So I did just throw two boars out windows.
I don't know. I mean, they were pretty exciting to me.
Yes. So in our last issue or session, the superhero team Topflight suffered a minor setback when they were murdered by a collection of supervillains who came together apparently to murder them with the help of a mysterious, slender, slight gray figure that was unidentified by anyone, either in this current group or their friend Synth Devil, who is sort of the coordinator for Topflight, that premier superhero team up to this point. The individuals here present are currently the active Topflight lineup, as you had been brought to Topflight Tower when things started getting dicey as a sort of continuity plan. And shockingly, that continuity plan was needed. So right now, the five of you are the members of Topflight. If we could kind of maybe just starting with Lumen, if you got kind of just go around the horn, if you could just sort of say your name in a very brief explanation of your powers, just as we're sort of...
Oh, sure. Lumen is from another realm. She harnesses the power of light, not fire, not lightning. And I feel like I have to say that every time because she cannot do those things, just light.
Very good. V, I guess you'd be next.
Yes, I have the ability to split into up to 8 duplicates of myself. I can fly and change my hair color at will.
Only one of those is actually practical. Armament, you can go next.
Armament has this ancient technology grafted to him that allows him to manifest armor and weapons with which he's proficient. He can fly. He has heightened senses, and he has a little portable construct drone that he can release. It's very cute and apparently bad at grabbing and scanning weapons.
Which is like its one purpose.
Yeah. No, I'd say the other two purposes would be like the eyes and ears above, but yeah.
Yes, Findon, I guess.
Yes. Findon has made a sort of a pact with an ancient entity and now is quite strong, like lifting and throwing thousands of pounds strong. That is pretty much the sum total of my powers.
Real strong.
And it comes in handy.
Yeah.
It does.
It's true. It's true. Like I said, threw a boar through a ghost.
Excellent. And then Teleportia.
All right, well, Teleportia, if it's not obvious, she can teleport places. She can teleport, she can fly. She's your in and out type of girl. Yeah, it's so fun.
Excellent. All right. So these 5 heroes had been sort of members in good standing of the global superhero initiative called Light Infinity. They were all members of kind of the active reserve, so they would show up when things, this or that was a problem. But apparently a much larger responsibility has been placed on them as they are now the 5 sole members of the premier superhero team in the world. With all of that in mind, we left off last week with you having destroyed this ghostly cowboy Wildorado, one member of the so-called trifecta of 3 supervillains who kind of apparently came together. To what purpose? If their goal was to kill Topflight, they seem to have succeeded. If they had broader purposes, these are yet unrevealed. He did bust into Topflight Tower carrying the body of one of the big three on the Topflight team, Shinobi Red, the world's greatest ninja. Her body is there, here in the tower on the floor. Two other bodies are here thanks to the efforts of Teleportia, that of Ice Queen and Baron Darkness, but Lumen actually attempted to use her light to heal them, and it had no effect. Their life seemed to be completely drained. They were mere objects, mere things. Their recent deaths could not be undone. By this time, a minute has passed or so. Shinobi Red is dead. But unlike those, her body is still warm. She has not been turned gray. She was killed by Tatiana Temple, the Empress of Impiety, rather than this strange gray figure, which laid waste to so many members of Topflight, including Meridian, the strongest and most powerful hero of all. Synth Devil, you have authorized for combat autonomy at full level. Synth Devil has gone from a sort of a relatively chill white and blue design to black and red and very hellish looking, and is currently sort of floating there in his very rad red cape with big, Vision, Red Tornado, etc. style, Martian Manhunter style collar turned up, and is sort of kind of, basically has turned to you all, seeing what it is you think you need to do right now.
I mean, well, so I want to go look at Shinobi Red, and like based on like my knowledge, like my medical knowledge, and also like knowing like kind of like what Topflight, what Flight Infinity has at their disposal. Like, do I think that we can do anything here?
You can make a medicine check for that. Certainly, you can definitely make a medicine check for that.
That's going to be a 16.
A 16. More knowing what Topflight has at their disposal, you certainly think that she has not been dead long enough. I mean, people have been revived. People have had their hearts stopped, and been revived after much longer periods of time. It's a difficult thing to do, but given all of the resources you have available here, you definitely think it is possible.
Lumen wants to. I asked this last time. She wants to get Ice Queen and the Baron into some kind of like analysis pods, so that we can kind of understand more how whatever happened to them, and then we can also understand what's going on outside too.
So the medical bay here is called Top Care. That is where sort of the superheroes' injuries are treated and such. That is probably where you would perform any kind of medical analysis of that kind, medical or scientific analysis. Vectron also has a lab, but that's much more for like, that's not so much biological stuff. So you would probably take it to Top Care.
So would they and Red Shinobi be going to the same place?
They would all be going to the same place.
Okay, cool. So then we should just move them there.
All right, so first step is Synth Devil says, yes, I will authorize Burrows I will activate Burrows and begin the process of receiving the dead. And sort of Synth Devil actually will pick up a couple of the bodies and begin.
Do we need to call anyone to fix the window, or do we have like an on-site team that just deals with that?
Gotta have a contract deal for that.
There definitely are people in the building, Lumen. Very well, I will contact maintenance. And Synth Devil kind of is sort of, simultaneously while carrying the bodies of Ice Queen and Baron Darkness over to the Top Care, which I guess would be one floor below your current thing. So kind of over to kind of a staircase, a room outside of the top floor where you're currently standing. So yes, certainly you can take Shinobi Red after him. He seems to be trying to contact maintenance for you.
Yeah, I think our first course of action should be to try to get Shinobi Red, whatever kind of care we can.
And there's zero chance that we can reanimate anyone else.
The only other one I believe that wasn't touched by that entity was Vectron. Their sort of status is unknown to us at the moment.
That is true. Vectron, you would recall that Vectron was killed when, actually, because of sort of witnessing all this, Vectron seemed to was struck by a bullet from that from Wildorado, that ghostly cowboy you faced, and the bullet seemed to like find a way like inside of Vectron's sort of armor, and you then saw the armor was like bursting and moving within. And I think you retroactively may have gathered that one of those sort of monsters that are summoned by the Phantom Revolver might have wound up on the inside of the suit with Vectron, which would make his rather immediately following demise make a lot of sense.
Yeah, it would be a messy situation down there.
And we don't know the status of Ghost Man, other than to seem that they seemingly were deleted from existence.
Yes, Ghost Man is not showing up on any of sort of ectoplasmic sensors that Synth Devil tells you. Is usually how he monitors Ghost Man, sort of, like mental state and such. Now bear in mind, you all don't really know too many of the specifics about these like A-list heroes who formerly, up until like 5 minutes ago were Topflight. So the specifics you'll probably have to ask Synth Devil, provided you're free to know them. But at this point, you have by now made it down to top care. You do see that there is there's this like robotic sort of network of like arms and tools that are kind of like moving out as various like gurneys and beds are being presented, and Synth Devil is putting the bodies onto those, and these arms are like repositioning them and beginning to provide treatment. A voice comes out over this, indicating that analysis indicates no life. Analysis indicates no life, and that is what's being said on both Ice Queen and Baron Darkness.
Can it analyze like exactly what happened? Like, does it have a database of powers or whatever, and like ways to combat them? Or
are you asking it to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, then it will say.
And I'm not necessarily asking to like revive them. I'm asking to protect us.
You're asking for like a full thing. So yes, basically it will say full spectrum analysis engaging, and it will begin a very, very careful scan of each of those bodies. Who is carrying Shinobi Red?
I can carry.
Okay, so Finn, you're bringing like Shinobi Red in. She's in her sort of, like her basic ninja getup. It covers her face and she has her mask on. She's got kind of her veil and the mask underneath that, her hair up in the ponytail. A good bit of blood now kind of covering that. She seems to have a pretty serious wound like on the side of her head. She also has
I try healing her?
You can. I think you would know that your healing can bring back someone who's unconscious. She is dead.
She's dead. Okay, that's fine. Never mind.
Yeah. So your heal would probably not, she's not just kind of like unconsciously hits your hit points. But you are sort of rushing her through, hoping for some kind of, revivification if it's fast enough in time. So Findon, what's your passive perception?
My passive perception is a 14.
14. You would notice there seems to be like a large dart kind of in her rib cage that has all sorts of like weird, almost electric diodes on the outside of it.
Lumen, I found this dart in her side. Sometimes I know that it's better to leave the thing in, sometimes it's better to pull the thing out. You know a little bit more about medicine than I do. Should we pull this out of her?
Let me check.
Lumi can make a medicine check. And armament, if you're there.
Yeah, I would. Yeah,
certainly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, please. I got a.
Oh right, sorry, armament.
No,
I'm a little doctor.
That's right. When you're not being a superhero, you're just a doctor.
I'm just That's a 23.
A 23. Yes, you glance at it and you think, I mean, you're already in here. Might as well just leave it in for another second. She's dead.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's not like it's going to be obstructing the blood flow right now or anything. We might as well just keep it set.
All right.
Leave it there, and you can remove it.
Lumen will concur that is indeed a dart.
On Shinobi Red's belt, you do notice, Findon, as you're sort of setting her down, that she has a sort of like a short Japanese sword on one side. She seems to have like, you're actually probably, you know what? While carrying her, you take 2 points of piercing damage because she has so many shurikens on her that just there's no way you could carry her without getting punched.
That's fine.
Here's a fun one though. Could you roll for me? Just roll a d10. Roll on a 10. There might be something else going on.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
I rolled a 10.
You rolled a 10. Cool.
It's poisoned.
As you are,
As long as if this is affecting me and it's bad, I'm gonna roll what needs to happen.
so as you're like moving her onto a thing, and these arms from burrows are sort of coming out to move her onto one of these beds. You're sort of shifting, and she has there's this narrow tube hanging off of her belt, and you are sort of as you're kind of just adjusting. Out of it just slides ever so delicately this tiny little needle.
Oh no.
That just right into your finger. You take.
Oh boy.
Philip just looking for an excuse.
Oh,
roll
however, I rolled.
possible.
This is amazing. I just rolled 6d6, and it was 3 1s and 3 2s, which is probably the worst 6d6 I've ever rolled. So that would be 9 points of poison damage.
Which would be double for me?
It is you are fortunately you're not susceptible,
Okay.
but theoretically, if you were suddenly dropped to 0 hit points, your heroic fortitude would not function right now. And you definitely the rest of you almost as just kind of this little dart, tiny. It's like a needle with a tiny little bit of feathers on the end of it. Just you see in the finger, and Findon's. Even not taking that much damage, you can see the veins just darkening for a second in Findon's face, but by now,
Do we know, does he raise his finger so we can see, or only he knows?
Oh, if it hit me, I probably am still moving fine, given there's a moment, you probably watch me falter for a moment.
Yeah.
But I probably don't drop her or have any real big reaction. Given that I just got stuck by something off of Shinobi Red. There's a lot of stuff on her.
She's a very pointy person.
I probably should have let Armament do this, considering that Armament is covered in armor, but here we are.
I'm going to go over and
You need to go
see what
ahead.
poked him.
You see a tiny little needle dart with a little bit of feather just to give it a little guidance as it flows. Just stick it on his finger.
Okay. Can I take it out?
You may.
I will take it out.
Cool. There does seem to be kind of mixing with just a tiny pinprick of his blood. There's this greenish yellow coating.
Is Synth Devil still here?
Yes, Synth Devil is watching is currently observing the analyses being conducted on Baron Darkness and Ice Queen. He's speaking with Burrows, and in fact he's saying, I think go ahead and take your time on this, Burrows. Be thorough, Burrows.
Synth, is this something we need to worry about?
That is one of the darts from Shinobi Red's blowgun.
Okay, and let's just say that Findon were to be poked by this. Is that something we need to be concerned about?
Findon, are you feeling unwell?
No, I feel all right now.
Then
There was a little bit of a jolt when it hit me, but other than that, I'm fine.
Yes, Findon should be fine in that case.
Okay.
A paralytic agent, but someone of his constitution should be largely unaffected. Synth Devil is now moving over to Shinobi Red. Are you going to have Burrows Are you going to assist Burroughs in attempting some kind of resuscitation?
Who is that to?
So you as a group.
I mean,
Although
yeah.
Synth Devil probably would have looked
Sure,
at.
hope so. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I could offer certain services. The fingertips have just little flicks of flame on them.
I think we'll see what we can do here.
Medically, of course. Drifts back a bit. You understand that actually Burroughs will do a quick analysis for you here. Okay, Burroughs rolls like a 17 is Burroughs says triage concerns. Patient is already deceased. Attempting to resuscitate at this stage is quite difficult. Alternatives are to put patient on ice.
Yes.
Is it, if we try to resuscitate and it fails, is putting on ice pointless?
Putting on ice, trying to resuscitate and failing will make resuscitating in the future significantly more difficult to impossible. However, putting on ice means future attempts at resuscitation are also more difficult. So as a meta out of game thing, you understand that the DC is high right now. You can punt on this, but when you do it later, the DC is higher. She's been cryo-frozen Walt Disney head style.
Right. I mean, I think that might as well try now.
Yeah.
It's
I
going to
would
be
like to do that too.
Very well.
Should I put her down? Where?
I think you've already, Burroughs, the sort of robotic arms have already sort of put her down.
Okay.
And have also removed several of her, equipment taken off, like some like the minor armor pieces.
I like the idea that his hands are just covered with like darts and shit.
I just have I pull her deck and I have 15 shurikens in my hand.
That's fine, don't worry about it.
I'll go and pluck little random ones.
like he ran into a cactus, but it's
just
darts.
I hold my hand. There's just a Tonto just straight through it. Huh.
What is it? Oh, Psy. Sorry. Yeah, there you go. If you were going to attempt this, Burroughs, what is your medicine modifier?
+5.
+5. What do you have, Lumen, for medicine?
6 + 6.
+6. So
that feels. I should not be better than the doctor, but that's fine. That's fine.
It's probably because your wisdom's higher or whatever your stat is.
Well, you're capable of your species is capable of a lot more technologically than we are. So
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Well, it's kind of magic, but yeah, 50-50. So in that case, you guys can attempt to do this medicine check. You have a suspicion that you're going to have to make 2 checks, and the DC is fairly high on both. So you guys have hero dice. They all reset.
Mm-hmm.
New session.
Yep.
Just throwing that out there.
Right.
You can expend any number of them after a roll is made, but you have to say, you can't roll one and say, I'll throw another one on top. You have to say, I'm going to use all of these on top of it. So I will say basically each of you can make 1 roll at advantage. Who will sort of go first to try to sort of stabilize her, remove the things that are currently killing her, that currently are,
Do we know which one is higher between the 2 DCs?
Why don't you make a medicine check, just an analytical one? Make a medicine check for me. Just look things over.
24.
God, you shouldn't have wasted that so early. That was bad.
I was literally thinking that. Yeah, I'm so mad.
With a 24, you believe that both of these are equally difficult things.
Okay.
And 24, you probably need to do better than that on them. So this is time for some hero dice.
I'll try to stabilize Lumen, and then you go from there.
Okay, so you will attempt to stabilize. You do have advantage on this because you have assistance. So you don't need to expend the D4. So you can roll and then decide how many hero dice you want to put on top of it.
All right. Okay, so it's a 17 on the die. So I'm going to, let me pull up my handy nifty hero die sheet real quick. I am going to drop. I'm going to drop. Oh, geez. Okay, let's see. Let's do a D10 and a D12 on this.
A D20 and a D12, and you are already at 22?
Yes.
Excellent. All right, go.
Because if there's one thing I know, it's that I have a propensity to roll low on some of these dice.
Understood. So throwing out the D12 and so as you kind of use your that heroic focus that you have. This is your doctor side coming in.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, I crushed it. It's a 9 and a 4, so that's another 13 there. So, what, 32, 36, 35? Math?
35.
There we go.
22 and 13 and 35. Yes. So, you guys notice that armament, kind of like the, kind of like that, like the dark sort of like jade armor, especially around the head, all peels back. And in fact, the gauntlets just completely move away. This doctor is going to use his hands. Definitely that object that was in her side, this is some kind of projectile that was fired upon her by Tatiana Temple. You very carefully, and with that 35, without touching it yourself, remove that object from her side.
I can manifest some scalpels.
Exactly. You can... The scalpels move, and in fact, one of the Burrow's robotic arms moves in and sees you're doing that, and is kind of like, moves back. Gives you kind of like a, yeah. Everyone is watching patiently. You remove that. You see there's some pretty severe wounding internally, but you are able to kind of, through various suturing and such, get her in a condition where, like, the only problem with her body right now is that she is not breathing and has no heart.
She's good to go, except that she's dead.
Aside from being dead, she's fine.
Otherwise, she's the picture of perfect health.
There's no, the only reason that she's dead right now is that she's dead. If that makes sense. Correct. So Lumen, it is now up to you, Min.
Okay, so I have advantage already.
You have advantage already because both Burrows and, but at this point, probably that was a very intense, and that this for like 10 minutes or so, a very intense period, and now kind of, armament is sort of stepping away, kind of, sweat. I will say, maybe the journeyer was, kind of dabbing your forehead a little bit while hovering, and once again, Burrows came in with a cloth and was like, never mind, apparently you've got this yourself. So yes, Lumen, you may now attempt at advantage a medicine check.
Okay.
So far, you think a 24 wouldn't work to actually revive her, but a 35 probably would.
That's a wide gap. Okay, so I'll roll first, right? Roll first.
Roll first.
Okay, so I got so close. 19 plus 6, so 25. 25.
So would you like to expend any of your hero dice, and you will have to declare all that you're going to expend ahead of time.
Yeah. Would a D10 even matter? Like, is death a condition I can clear? Like, what? Which dice specifically?
Oh, which dice? So are you strategically asking which ones you?
Yeah, like would I just need a D12 or?
On your spell. Yeah, it's only in yourself. So really, it's more which effects do you want to protect for later? See what I'm saying?
Right, because we can roll any of them, right? Any die just to add to a roll.
Yeah.
If you just wanna go supernova on this, roll a D4, a D6, a D8, a D10, a D12, and a D20, and just throw them all on top. You won't have any hero dice for all these other functions for yourself the rest of today's session.
Oh, I get it. Okay. No.
So basically, the idea is you have to declare how many you're doing now.
I'll just do the D12.
Throw on a D12. Okay. Just a D12. One thing that's fun is that I'm going to tell you guys what the DC of this is after you do this, however it goes. Just
oh gosh.
I almost wish you wouldn't.
One thing that's fun is that I really like to bait players into using these things when they wound up not needing it. Sometimes you need it. I will tell you this right now, you succeeding on this roll is the difference between if Shinobi Red is dead or alive.
Yes, I'm aware.
Don't muck it up.
I believe that's what we're attempting.
No
Yes,
pressure.
I was not
pressure.
confused what I was doing. I just. All right. Yeah, just
I'm texting Pierce the DC right now. Just so he,
You're a monster.
just so you know what it is.
Okay, no, I'll do. You son of a bitch! I'll do 10 and 12.
10 and 12 as perfect.
And it's gonna be 25. We're gonna
Exactly right. That's my concern. Is that it's gonna be 25, but it's fine. It's fine. If I save a life, I think it's fine.
Exactly.
They'll write the Fray will write a song about you.
The way he's smiling, though.
Okay, so I got. Wait, what did I have before? I had a 19 plus 6, so 25. I have a 9, so 34, and then a 7, 40. Whatever. I made it.
You did make it. Theoretically, either one of those die would have got you over. The DC was 31.
Okay.
Oh.
All right, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
Well spent.
Yeah.
So is she like
Theoretically,
super
probably
alive
rolled a
now?
5
or-
and then like no.
Now she doesn't have any wrist problems.
Oh yay!
Well,
Yeah, in fact, you cleared up the rheumatoid arthritis in her knee.
No, I'm going to say that by exceeding it by 10, I'm going to say that she actually will awaken with a full 10 hit points.
Ooh.
Hey.
So as you perform this resuscitatory action on the greatest ninja in the world, still her her mask is still on. You have not removed that yet. You finish this, and honestly, you're using some like medical science, but clearly in the end there, you are just like putting light into her heart until it beats again. And all of you see her sort of like her lungs expand, and she breathes a couple of times, and her eyes just shoot open. She sort of turns to the side, like her mask kind of like, and just like vomits over the side of the table and sits up.
A lot of bad things happened.
She looks at you, Finton.
You're the only one left.
Thanks.
Maybe a little bit of information at a time. A little more gently. Next time she rouses.
I don't know. I don't think there's time for bedside manner. But
Yeah.
Synth Devil sort of is floating
I
over.
thought she might be able to handle it, being one of the most powerful superheroes in the world before we took over.
After being dead for 20 minutes?
Yeah.
As Synth Devil.
It's not like
looks at
once
the
you're dead, it doesn't keep going. You're just lying there. It's not like you got more dead as the time went on.
There's no compounding interest on death.
Let's ask her.
Oh my god.
Right.
New title for a hard-boiled detective novel. Compounding interest on death. Oh my god. Into it. So she does fall over. She has fainted. You can, of course, attempt to, slap her awake or whatever. Synth Devil is checking her vitals, seems to say. She appears to be in decent working order.
I will gently try to rouse her.
Before I'll just with Synth Devil, I just want to say, Synth Devil, can you get us a status on what's going on in the square where that thing is while we're trying to tend to Shinobi Red?
I leave it to Sir. Synth Devil flies out of top care back up to the top.
Did he seem disappointed that worked? Like that were able to bring her back to life?
Did
Yeah, I
Synth
think she
Devil
wanted that. He wanted to
seem
help.
disappointed that Shinobi Red is now?
So we not she's alive, but that we brought her back to life without his help.
Make an insight check.
18.
Disappointed is, I think, too strong.
Okay.
Synth Devil seems very intrigued by what's going on. And Shinobi Red being alive is an interesting development.
Okay.
So he is now going up to check on the square. Meanwhile, V, you are very sort of gently, kind of trying to kind of get Shinobi back to consciousness. She opens her eyes and sits up. What happened?
You and the others were killed. You were the only one we've been able to bring back so far.
Might I recommend not looking to your right? I said I recommend not looking to your right.
She's like trying to like climb out of the table to go over there. She seems very sort of weak and discombobulated.
And I'll stop her and get her back on the table.
Need to heal first.
You've been through a lot. What
happened to them?
As far as we can tell, what happened to everyone else except you was something beyond death.
And Victor.
Yeah, we don't really know what happened to Vector. We haven't been able to recover his body yet.
No, Meridian.
Meridian is gone.
Ghostman. Ghostman can't be gone.
As far as we know, whatever Ghostman is tied to, he no longer is tied to. He
sits up. Okay. All right. Okay.
It's whatever that thing was.
What
you saw
do you
it, right?
remember?
We heard that Narthex had landed in Lime Street. We went to try and intercept. There was not alone. She's going to spend the equivalent of some key points to try to call herself. Doesn't really have many left here, but she will. That she will make. Where is my Shinobi red dice? There you are. She will make a wisdom save. All right. So you're saying I am the only surviving member of Topflight?
So far.
No, that is incorrect. We are now Topflight.
Continuity. I see. All right. Okay. We're going. I'm going to need additional medical attention. What is the current status? I know that Narthex was slain for the Dinosaurian was also destroyed. Where is Tatiana Temple?
As far as we know, Tatiana was thrown into space by Meridian. We were told not to assume that killed her, but she seems to not be an issue at the moment. But it does seem that her forces around the globe attacked in a coordinated assault. We lost heroes everywhere.
About 20% of the entire Flight Infinity retinue.
Also, I'm not sure how long the cowboy will be gone.
We did kill
Eldorado.
We did
Eldorado.
defeat him.
You did.
Momentarily.
She sort of is sitting up, like, all right. If you have dispatched him, actually, she'll have to make a roll on this to see if she remembers what Ghost Man had told her about that. It is it's gonna.
I'm shocked.
It's a natural 20.
Shocked.
So
this is good though. This is good for us.
it's good for you. Yeah, sometimes.
I'll take that.
So with a 22, she's like, yes. Okay. We don't need to worry about him for a while. Sounds like Temple will need to be dealt with again in time. What about that thing? The gray figure?
It's there.
Still there. He seems to be sitting down in the middle of the street.
We're trying to figure out a way to contain the square. But
Burrow's speed, if you have one. Burroughs brings kind of like a tablet on one of the arms, extends down, and you see there's like Shinobi Red just starts kind of scrolling through the various information. Okay, it is sitting there as you say. Show me Meridian. It plays the instant of Meridian's destruction. She struck it. Okay, perhaps it is somewhat weakened by that, at the least. Okay, all right. Okay. Containment is our first priority.
We gotta figure out how to contain it first.
Indeed. Ghostman would know, I would think. Short of him, we could contact perhaps even Team Tomorrow. Under the circumstances, they seem to have suffered not quite as badly as Topflight did, although Topflight is currently at 6. All right, 6 of us. Very good.
Also, I'm not sure if this is necessarily worth mentioning, but we unlocked Synth Devil.
Oh yeah, that.
Well, that's probably fine. Meridian was always a bit more cautious than I was. Okay.
So far, Synth Devil's been very helpful.
Truly.
But there was another option that we were presented with as an avenue for information.
Yes.
A more shadowy organization that I thought maybe, given the nature of, I don't know, things that you've dealt with, you might have some knowledge of.
What organization are you speaking of?
It's not quite a League of Shadows.
Are you talking about the Guild of Secrets?
Yes, thank you. The key point is called League of Shadows, of course.
When you say Guild of Secrets, you see a, just from like her eyes behind her veil, there's almost a relaxing of like, there's something you could have said there that she was going to veto hard, but that was not what she was expecting. Captain Eldridge. I see. Yes. That, under the circumstances, is probably worth at least a phone call. Okay.
I can heal you a bit, but I do think rest would be most important. So if I heal you a little, for your comfort, you have to promise to not hop out of bed and start doing anything.
I'll not hop out of bed. I do have a question. Are other heroes currently in danger? Other members of Fight Infinity? No. Things seem to have calmed for now. You are right. I need to rest. Contact the guild. Attempt. Use discretion. Don't give them anything.
Don't explain to them that our entire forces have been weakened and we're clueless and grasping at straws.
She sort of lays back.
Don't tell them it is our first day on the job.
I told them that Meridian's dead, the most powerful entity the world has ever known.
You misunderstand. Don't offer them anything from the vault. If they are able to help, great. Just don't let them have anything from the vault. Not without checking with me. She's kind of like half in and out of consciousness.
All right. Perhaps we should allow Shinobi Red to rest and we should go back up to the control room with Synth Devil and see if we can figure out whom we should contact.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So, if you venture back upstairs.
Teleport
Devil-
back.
You do what?
We teleport back.
Oh, sorry, yes. Portal. Just who uses stairs? Not teleportal.
Not Teleportia.
All right, so
Please.
you
Please.
move back up there without issue. You do see there are already a couple of maintenance techs putting up some like temporary like window panels.
Good. Synth Devil.
Yes. Turns around again. Flames on the side. Flames coming out of Synth Devil's fingertips now. It's kind of a constant like.
Does that make it hard for you to use the computer?
No.
Excellent.
Devil presents a hand for you. You may touch these flames. They do not burn, not with heat.
I'll touch them.
They don't. You feel them like rippling, but they don't. There's no heat on them.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
Lumen breathes a sigh of relief because that means he's just light and not darkness, and everything is okay.
Yep, he is definitely not light, not darkness. Most of his body is just kind of like just a pit of the void. But he sort of hovers back over. At present, the creature has not moved a muscle.
Very good. Very good.
Its effect has not spread outside of approximately a 1 block radius. So it is sort of pulled up, and you sort of see the kind of like a map of the area. The battle was sort of mainly taking place at the intersection of Line and Beck streets, and it appears like that intersection and the 4 buildings, there surrounding it, that is the extent of this kind of grayness. 2 of those buildings are also pretty destroyed. Again, this is a rather kind of like, commercial area. So the casualties are not expected to be very high on a Sunday night like this. But basically what Synth Devil is explaining is that effect has not spread beyond that radius of this kind of gray, colorless zone, but within it seems even more colorless, kind of impenetrable, difficult to see. Police have all stopped. The Alpha City police, they're all like another block beyond that with barricades set up, just kind of looking into it. Yes.
The computer is still doing a full analysis, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Of the 2 who were there, correct.
Synth Devil, my question currently, we're going to have to decide on the course of action, but Shinobi Red mentioned a vault. Do those contents belong to us now?
Well, yes, strictly speaking.
What's in the vault?
What's not in the vault, Vindan? There are many fascinating things in the vault. Things locked away here in our stronghold for their own safekeeping. I can take you there if you like. You all have the right to access the vault.
Yes. I would like to go to the vault. New toys.
Is it in the tower?
Well, they're in a vault for a reason. I don't know that we necessarily should just be taking them out and using them on day 1.
I would not necessarily advocate you take out and use any of these items, but
we can look.
You are certainly entitled to see what is there.
Also, we don't know what we're up against. We see what weapons we have. If we need it, we can come back and get it.
Of course.
I would also just like to see what's in there. If the Guild of Shadows is going to ask us for something.
Secrets.
I would like... Sorry, thank you. Guild of Secrets. If the Guild of Secrets is going to ask us for something, I would... I'd like to have an idea of the kind of things they might be asking for.
Also, that might... And we might
what
find...
makes you think the Guild of Secrets would ask for anything?
That's right before Shinobi Red fell asleep, she implied that they would ask for something, and we could not or should not
Will
agree
not.
to offer anything in exchange for their help without first consulting Shinobi Red.
Oh, well.
Which I have no intention to subvert her. I just want to know what the contents are.
Though she is the senior member, that would only give her 2 votes. So technically, the 5 of you outrank her. This way, and Synth Devil will lead you out of this chamber. So if you want to go down and look at the vaults, you absolutely may do so. The vaults. Boom. So you kind of come to like a larger bank of sort of industrial-sized elevators, like right in the center of the building. And you get in and you go down what only seems like a couple of levels. The door opens and you see a just very like clean metal passageway ahead of you. Synth Devil sort of floats to the front of it. There is a large door there. Are you interested in seeing the biggest ticket items first? Is that correct?
Sure.
Yeah, I think that would be the best place to start.
Bear in mind, many things in this vault are of uncertain provenance and effect. So even the smallest things that Meridian wished locked away are considered very dangerous. Synth Devil moves to place a hand against a pad and says, actually, as the coordinator, I am capable of entering on my own, but perhaps you should demonstrate your new status as Topflight. 2 of you are required to enter the vault. And gestures towards a pair of
I would like V to just split herself into 2 and walk forward.
Just try it out.
Are you going to do that?
Yeah, I split into 2 and try to walk in.
There's green sort of glowing pads. Synth Devil is about to put a hand upon one and it stopped.
Okay, so I'll do the other one.
Understood. Well, Synth Devil has moved away, but if you're splitting, you're going to try to touch both pads.
Oh, okay, yes.
Why did you move away?
I will allow Topflight to access the vault. Are you concerned, Lumen? Fire on the fingertips.
I guess I just want to understand more.
If you are concerned that I am using you to access the vault, I will put your mind at ease.
No, that's not it. I just want to, since we are Topflight now, I just want to know kind of everything that goes on so that when we interact with outsiders, it's not as obvious that I don't know what I am doing.
Of course, Lumen. The vault requires 2 active members of Topflight in order to be accessed. They must both place their hands upon these pads simultaneously. However, the so-called senior members, being Ghostman, Meridian, and Shinobi Red, are capable of accessing the vault alone, as am I. V's frozen, isn't she?
Yep.
Oh, I hope she doesn't disappear. She's going to disappear.
Oh, no.
Feel it.
Oh, man.
Oh, no.
Does it?
Well, no,
It's
wait,
because she tried to touch the button.
Nope.
No!
It
There we
happens.
go.
Walking in.
All right, hang on. All right, which
Stick
way do I gotta
figure.
go? I think I gotta go this way.
Yeah.
There we go. Now I'll be there. Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
Yeah, now
At
I
the
get
same time, too. That was adorable.
Well, I guess the real question is, does it work when V touches both of her hands?
I cannot reveal that without thee being present. And then join without audio. Here's the important part.
So I guess while we're waiting, one thing that I am pondering is can I think of any reason like there might be anything specific to like today happening why this attack would happen today, or does it seem to be like can I think of any reasons like any like literally stars aligning, any like notice thing of circumstance or note or yeah.
Absolutely. Why don't you make a... If you're just generally asking, I think this is a culture check. You're just generally like, why is today different than any?
Why is this night different from all other nights? That's a natural also, 20 for a 26.
26. I will say in that case, with sort of a fair bit of certainty, you don't feel there is any significant on it. Like you're because you're a smart guy. You keep up with like, hey, what's going on in interplanetary politics? Not really a huge thing. Maybe we'll try, etc. You keep up with that stuff.
Okay, cool.
You cannot think of any like arcane equinoxes or interstellar, alignments or any or creepy anniversaries of like the horrific death of Tatiana Temple's family when she was a kid that would give this some odd, poeticism. It seems just like a weird night.
All right.
Yes.
We're prior to becoming Topflight, we were sort of a low-level team, right?
You were not like specifically a team. You were just like you were reservists
or low-level heroes.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm just trying to get a gauge of how much we know about this tower. Basically, everything is new to us at this point, right?
The only time you ever go to the top forum before would have been like for, meet and greets, like receptions or things. Yes. The idea that they have a vault here, actually, you, Findon, are aware of a vault here. You heard about it not long ago. And so this will be an editor's note. This story happened in Flight Infinity Presents The Reservist, No Reservations, the one-shot special. So Findon, you would know about that from that one-shot in which a universe was kind of created out of like a weird like pocket of energy brought here by a interstellar trickster named Conundrum. That universe that was created after you were rescued from it, having kind of been sucked into its creation somehow, that was like boxed up in kind of like a like large thing by Ghostman, and you even encountered Meridian.
No.
I know. I'm sorry. When she comes back,
That's okay. I'm just armament now.
Okay. All right. So, in any case, that is what you would know about all of that.
Okay.
So so that's the degree to which you are aware that.
Okay. That gives me a pretty good idea of how familiar I am with the building and everything.
Exactly. In any event, so V, some other questions were happening. So, are you, in light of all this, are you going to walk up and split and touch the thing together?
Yes.
Perfect. So you walk up, you put your hands on both. The door does open. Cool loophole you have. And Synth Devil says, very clever. A more fastidious coordinator might attempt to block that little workaround, but I see no reason.
No reason? Like not even just in case? It's fine. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like I just feel that's loopholes should be unlooped. It's fine. If you don't think it's necessary, it's fine.
Let us enter the stronghold of these most powerful objects, whose Synth Devil floats in, kind of the flame from the fingers lighting the dark corridor in there. Synth Devil will then turn back and say, I am being dramatic. I can turn the overhead lights on if you want. Because right now the thing is just like lit by like creepy fire coming out of this thing, and it's like a dark chasm.
I would like the lights on.
Yeah, I think just get a better lay of the land.
Bright lights come on, and you see just like within this space seems very big, like warehouse, Raiders warehouse size, just going on in different directions. And there are these kind of like, there's like 10-foot passages between, usually some seems to be bigger where it's necessary, but it tends to be between these like 10-foot cubes that are like all white on the outside that have like a little stand next to each with like a tablet with readouts on it. And Synth Devil begins walking towards sort of the center of this. There is like another ring of kind of like gates and things surrounding what appears to be some kind of force field. Synth Devil again places a hand on something that disappears, and you guys can enter. And there are a rather large collection of other sort of boxes and things. These, however, are there's varying different sizes. Many are much smaller, as if everything in here has like its own thing or its own cat crawling on it.
Are there sort of any sort of identifiers?
Oh yes, there are these. So there are these like basically in front of each thing. There's like a freestanding pole, and there's like a tablet on it that if you get up to it, and if you guys get close, you can start scrolling through and seeing stuff or telling it. So there are, I'll say in the current area you're in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 10 things of varying sizes. Some are like pretty small or sort of more like just single pedestals. The largest one you see is a rectangular prism about like 18 feet long, 6 feet high, and maybe 10 feet wide.
I'm going to split into 2 more formations, so there's a total of 4 of us, and we're all just going to be looking at the different tablets.
Okay. You see names such as the Shades. You see one that says the Blade of Excalibur, in parentheses, possible. You see one that says Unexplored Pocket Universe CON58AA3.
Is that familiar to me?
Armament, you might want to copy that blade, just in case.
Yeah,
the largest one is called Commander Cosmic's 1955 Thunderbird.
Dibs.
There is an object called Persona Draconis.
Ooh.
The Cloak of Ranchonia Scifericatomio. It's my favorite name I've ever come up with, and I will never, ever stop using the name Ranchonia Scifericatomio. There is a box.
Like fusion.
There is a box that says Maisie, Maisey. I'll say that's
the most frightening thing you've mentioned so far.
You're what?
That's the most frightening thing you've mentioned so far.
Do you see Maisie? So basically, Synth Devil says, if you'd like to, you can see within any of these things. You want to see Maisie? Is that correct?
Sure.
Maisie. Show us Maisie. The white sort of case becomes transparent. Sitting in this is a small doll of a little girl.
Oh no.
It seems to have been made in, you'd expect, like the 1920s or 30s. She's just wearing a dress, and she's just kind of sitting there staring at you all.
That's what I thought. This is the worst thing we have in here.
What is it?
Says, Maisie. Would you like to investigate Maisie? We could take her out.
I'd rather never do that.
No.
Maisie, many analyses have been run on her. And he's kind of gesturing to the tablet that's blowing up. Ghostman is assured there is no dark presence tied to her. And yet, any living organisms who hold her feel that there is something very amiss. She seems to be tied to an estate in Scotland. Perhaps when Topflight is not otherwise concerned with world-ending conflicts, the brave among you could take her to Scotland, to this estate, and see what might transpire. Waves a hand to the mazy box trunks.
It is intriguing, but it does seem like something activity for a later time.
Yeah.
There is also there's a couple more that probably do interest you. One is called Lorgo Bawaso U Tugish. It seems to be a stone urn, extremely ancient. The top is open.
Can I look in it?
Do you wish to remove it and look inside?
The
Yes.
way that's being asked, I don't know if you should.
He said the top is open.
So it's like an urn without a lid.
Can one of the formations fly over it to peek in?
Formation flies over it, looking down through the thing. You see an empty urn. Made of
Oh.
stone.
Never mind.
And of
It flies
course,
back.
Synth Devil.
Findon, you probably are drawn to something that is called the whiskey box.
The whiskey box?
Mhm.
You are correct.
If you sort of wave your hand on that, the white casing disappears, and you see hovering over like a small pedestal, approximately 8 foot and 8-inch cube that seems to be made of like a dark brown liquid, just kind of slightly rippling.
Synth Devil, what's the story with this?
This, I have to say, is one of Ghost, or rather was, one of Ghost Man's little personal puzzles. This is a puzzle box made entirely of whiskey. It is any creature, even those who don't grow intoxicated by this substance. And in the course of trying to solve the puzzle, you grow more and more intoxicated. Ghostman's never been able to get inside. However, after speaking to the spirits of several dead sages from other planes, he always looks a little dead-faced, but he came to us and said, "We need to put this in the vault immediately." I catch him down here every now and again, playing with it. Or rather, I did.
Try it. Drink it.
All right, we have to get inside of it to drink it. All right, this also.
Do you want to play with the whiskey box right now?
I do not at the moment, but it does seem like there's going to be a great many things in here for us to
And of
bring
course,
our attentions to at some point.
this is not all of it by any means. So,
Synth Devil, how much of what you would consider in here to be curiosities, and how much of it would you consider it to be weapons or things we are safeguarding from?
all of it is considered to be safeguarded in one way or another. If you're asking what of it, I should phrase it like this. Everything in here, especially in this inner vault, is considered to be something with tremendous implications.
I see. Yeah, I can see that.
How long have we been down here in the vault?
15 minutes, maybe.
Oh.
I can see why Shinobi Red would be cautious, considering how little seems to be known of anything in here.
Indeed.
Yep.
There are many mysteries about tonight.
I would like to circle back to that sword.
Yeah, do it.
Very well.
Do it.
Do it.
What do we know about it?
This is possible bladed Excalibur. They're not certain. They open it up. You see a sword stuck into a stone. It appears to be your classic thing of one who is worthy can wield this.
Have we, I'm looking at, I say the synth devil, have we, has anyone, I mean, nothing, whenever someone touches it, nothing bad happens, right?
No.
All right.
Everyone asked Meridian to draw it, but she demurred, as she would.
Is there any rule against just me touching it right now?
You are Topflight. You're in the vault.
All right, then I will reach out and I will try and manifest.
You put your hand against it and see goes and kind of shows you how to deactivate the boxes. And now there is simply a sword in a stone just on like a platform there.
Then I'm gonna grab the hilt of the sword. I'm not gonna try and pull it, but I'm just gonna scan it and store it if it's or try to at least.
So yes, so you can store it without issue.
Okay.
It to sort of shorthand this, it is a holy event.
Sick.
Yeah.
Dope. Okay. Hell yeah. Thank you, Synth Devil. That's I imagine that will probably be helpful at some point.
Oh, hopefully.
Those around saying, well,
you all wanted to see.
Sorry, what did he say?
Is there anything else you wanted to see down here?
I mean, I feel like the amount of time it would take to go through everything here, and like one by one, would be burdensome and take away from time that we could be doing other things.
Indeed.
So I'll look at everyone else. I mean, I think that we should try and be a little more proactive right now in finding solutions.
I agree.
Very well.
I simply want to know the gravity of the sort of things that would be in here, because I do believe our best option is to contact the Guild of Secrets.
A wonderful plan. A wise course of action.
Let's not volunteer any of this stuff, though.
Well, no, we are
Well, no,
specifically.
we weren't gonna even. Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Would they
Using
know?
discretion.
It sounded like they are going to, if Shinobi's Red's inclinations are correct, it sounds like they will want to make some sort of exchange. And if they're, I don't know about you, but if something is called the Guild of Secrets, I'm going to assume they deal in knowing things.
They deal in all matters arcane. The new Captain Eldridge is at the head as Captain Eldridge. I'll actually say anybody who is anyone in this group proficient in history?
In history?
Mhm.
No.
I am.
Make a history check. You person, you.
Uh-oh.
May have lied. That would be a 9.
Captain Eldritch, there's so many superheroes. You can't get them all straight. Come on.
Sounds made up, honestly.
Well, shall we return?
Yeah.
Teleportia. I will actually mention to you. You probably would have had a sense of this. When you've been in this room, you don't think you could make portals in and out of this room, or even.
Oh no, yeah, I assumed so.
Yeah, you feel like my little nonsense doesn't seem to be working.
Yeah.
So, you guys are returning upstairs.
And I will reconvene to just
On-
one.
On the way up, if I could kind of, not trying to be secretive, but it's not like a big announcement to the group.
Mhm.
I'm just sort of, Synth Devil, one thing I've never asked about being a member of this organization, certainly now that we are Topflight, what kind of information is stored about us?
Oh, most, but it is not accessible to just anyone. It is kept secret even from the government.
Yeah.
Quantum encryption is unbreakable by normal means, as well as enchantments to guard against magical or mystical divinations.
I mean, it makes sense.
That being said, you now have access to all of that information on any member of Flight Infinite. This way.
Yeah, pretty mixed on that, honestly. But
well, you can always change the chart, can't you?
Fair.
The more Synth Devil kind of moves around, the more you feel like there should be like organ music just playing under everything. So you guys are back up after another very swift ride up in that elevator. You're back in the chamber. By now, the entirety of the window is covered in like temporary panels.
So, group, it seems like nothing we can do about the square at the moment and the thing that's there.
Right.
So we had two options of people that seemed like they were worth contacting. There was Team Tomorrow, which they are probably a lot more, let's say, easy to deal with. And then there's the Guild of Secrets.
Which sounds like more difficult to deal with, but might be more helpful?
Possibly.
I don't see why we can't just contact both.
I'm just trying to figure out who we talk to first.
The Guild.
Is the analysis done?
The analysis on the two of them actually would not be done. It's going to take an hour or so for them to go through every single thing.
So I am inclined to agree with you, V, but want to see what the group thinks.
Also, correct. We don't quite know where Team Tomorrow is right now, right? Whereas we might have a better lead on the Guild of Secrets.
And Lumen, think about it. They're the Guild of Shadows.
Secrets.
Don't you want to get a good read on them? Oh, it is secrets. Well, secrets are kept in the dark. So,
yes. So if anything, that just means that I shouldn't give them a chance and I should just try and eradicate them. So your point is moot.
Well, we would need to find out where they are and contact them.
Guild of Secrets, I can contact for you immediately. I'm sure Dustin Howell will be happy to help. Fire.
Any objections from the group?
No,
No.
I'm more concerned about just the analysis and figuring out what that thing is outside.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. I'm hoping that they may have some information.
Indeed. I think the Guild will be able to consider the possibility of this thing. Think of what we know. He also says, and I can simply inform Team Tomorrow of the current situation. They were rather devastated by their last encounter with Narthex. They should be informed that he is dead, along with most of Topflight. So he sort of begins doing that, and then he says, but if you would like, I will see if Dustin Howell would be willing to come and speak to us with all due haste.
That sounds like what we're going to do.
Yeah.
He kind of, make an Arcana check, Lumen.
Okay. Um, 24.
It appears that Synth Devil is casting a spell that you're familiar with conceptually, not really one of your areas of expertise, but he appears to be casting a spell you know as Sending.
Okay, cool.
Sort of as like the room sort of slightly darkens around him as he's reaching out across.
I will cast light if the room is dark.
I love it.
I believe he will be here momentarily. Outside, you hear a crash of thunder, a flash of lightning illuminates. Suddenly, it begins raining
Very dramatic.
outside.
I like-
There's a brief kind of flash of ozone, slightest hint of brimstone, but also that kind of like almost like citrusy, sharp tang that often accompanies arcane magic being cast. And there's like a figure standing on the other side of the table from you. He's wearing kind of like a brown, just like a brown like khaki jacket, basically. Pair of blue jeans. He has a Red Sox cap on, and he kind of looks around and goes, "Man, you guys live great up here. Jesus Christ." Sounds like you had it sounds like you guys had a bad night.
Yeah.
So what, you're top right now?
Yeah,
pretty much.
I believe I believe it would not be an understatement to say that we're in some wicked deep shit here.
Making fun of me?
No, I've been on the East Coast before. I've been there.
Sure. Actually, I'm going to say somebody came with him. Would Teleportia, could you roll a d10 for me? Another member of the Guild of Secrets is here. Let's see who came along.
Yeah. 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There is a blonde woman is with him. She is wearing kind of like a very like well-tailored jacket. She has sort of blonde hair, blue eyes, kind of like a white blouse underneath it. There's an almost like alpine quality to her clothing. She also is wearing very like tall leather boots. And in one hand, she is actually carrying a what basically looks like it for a second looks like a riding crop, but it really seems to be some kind of like wand. And she just has that out. And she's sort of glancing about as well. So I hope you don't mind. I brought Wanderlust with me as well. So seems like a serious situation is developing out here. Meridian is dead, is that correct? That's what the news is saying.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's insane. All right. Well, cool. So what do you want me to look at? What's happening?
Would you please, Synth Devil, bring up the feed on the square?
Of course. It is always a pleasure to have you here, Captain Eldridge. Dustin is fine, thank you. Jesus Christ. The feed shows up, kind of projected. Yeah.
We're trying to figure out what the hell that thing is.
That thing's weird.
Can't wait to
Jesus.
contain it.
All right. Well, let me see you got like real footage of what happened in Meridian, right? Let me see that.
Yeah. Show him what he needs to see.
He watches for a few moments and says, "Ugh, all right, I'm going to cast one spell." Wanderlust kind of goes, "If that is, then I shall alert the media that Captain Eldridge is finally doing his job." Yeah, whatever. He's kind of just like, he like mutters like that and starts like walking around. Which one? God, I fucking hate doing this so much. This is the stupidest thing. I hate this so much. All right. He casts a spell. His eyes turn into fields of stars. You see for a moment this like green purple energy swirling all around him. He hovers off the ground for a brief moment, and it's almost as if there's like a superimposition over him, as this like very super heroic suit almost seems to be like on his body, replacing the ball cap and the jacket and everything. It's kind of like a mask that comes down about this far, a large cape all in greens and purples and very arcane, just covered in all these sigils that like float around him. Just for a split moment, and he lands.
Aha, that's more of what I was expecting from him.
What's your name? What's your deal?
V.
No,
Hey,
perhaps
what's
we
going
should
on?
stay on track. Well,
My name's Dustin. It's nice to meet you.
the world
I
is
like
dying
Dustin.
outside. Okay.
Do you do
I guess.
burlesque or something?
I guess professionalism is out the window tonight.
I split.
Yes.
Oh my heavens! Wow. What's this supposed to be about? Is it magical?
Kind of. I reconvened. Sorry.
No, yes. It's nice to meet you. Wanderlust goes, Dustin, can we please?
Yeah.
Sure thing, Mom. Jesus Christ. Sorry, Mom. I'm not just kidding. All right. Okay. All right, guys. This is. One. I have an explanation for what's going on. I'm gonna need to do much more analysis. That is. It's not a word one should really throw around lightly when it can actually be applied. That is a god.
Of what?
Like a full god?
Pretty much, yeah. It's technically, an avatar at this time because it's like on, the plane of mortality and such. But no, that is a full-fledged deity with which I nor any of the other Captain Eldritches of various other planets and such are particularly familiar with, which I would say would mean it is it's a new one.
Is it
A new one.
good or bad?
A
Well,
new
he's
god?
definitely not good.
Doesn't
It
seem
might
good
not
to
know
me.
what it's doing. If it's a new god.
All right. So please tell me what you know. How did this thing show up? Who did it show up with? Give me the information on all this.
Well, there was a trifecta.
Trifecta.
Yeah, we had
I
a
played
ghost
a bunch
cowboy.
of times, sure.
We had
Wildorado.
Tatiana
Temple, sure. She's always got her fingers in everything.
and Narfax.
Oh, Narfax, the Galactic Gladiator, sure. I know about him because Oh, Jesus Christ. The Astromancer is dead. Wanderlust says, that should not be possible. I was under the impression that the Astromancer was eternal. Yeah, well, Meridian was supposed to be eternal too, and now she's dead, so a lot of stuff's going on. The Astromancer is kind of the, cosmic magic member of Team Tomorrow out in space, and we get along fine.
Yeah,
Meridian
a
is
lot of
probably-
things that are not supposed to be possible have been happening. Ghostman has been deleted from existence. He's already dead, and now he's dead.
Been a rough day.
Okay, all right. Ghostman was also a friend of
Not
mine.
a great day to be the first day on the job,
Well, okay. All right. Oh boy. Stupid, but yeah. All right. So, yeah. You're saying trifecta. Why you call him the trifecta?
That's what Meridian apparently referred to them as, that she was worried about
Then
these three entities joining forces.
It would lead to a
In other
doomsday
words-
scenario.
A doomsday scenario in which a all-powerful cosmic entity, an undead creature, and then a master of both magic and science here on Earth come together to, I don't know, say Frankenstein together a new god.
Seems.
Seems plausible.
I mean, just based off of the empirical evidence, I'm going to go with, yeah, that seems like a yes.
So you have called me here to identify this? Is this correct?
Partially. We were hoping, you could identify it, but also maybe help us figure out how to deal with it, or at least contain it. As you can see, it's draining that area it's in, and we don't want that spreading through Alpha City.
Or, world. Always have to remember from Alpha City, there's a whole world outside of that.
I mean, potentially, who's to say it would stop here? Who's to say it would
Yeah,
just
Yeah, exactly.
expand
I
across
would
time
like to
and
keep,
space?
I'm implying I want to keep it confined to that square.
Fair enough. All right. That, deific, but, containment, well. Oh. He gives Wanderlust this look. I gotta call. Want to do that though? I don't want to do that. Oh, all right. Call the whole guild. And she says, oh, are we even calling trance? Yes, we're calling trance. Fucking Christ, we're calling trance. I am not elf. You know what? It's fine. World stakes. I'll be a grown-up. It's fine. All right. Okay. Fair enough. All right. Just we're gonna. He goes Wanderlust, and she kind of does something, and the two of them disappear again with that spike of eldritch arcane energy.
I don't believe he should be talking to his mother that way.
Oh, I don't think it's actually his mother, Lumen.
It's really nice.
Then why would he call her mom?
I believe it was more pejorative, as in someone who is telling him what to do,
Like
he
a
is the
mom
leader.
to him.
You know what I mean?
Oh.
Nagging.
Oh, I see. Okay. Noted.
Unfortunately, Mr. Howell is not rising to the occasion and fully embracing his new role. But in time, I'm sure he will.
Since Devil is kind of, floating there for a moment, well, do you have any orders for me, Topflight?
Well,
Can you kill a god?
I can ask a devil.
When you say devil, is this also a pejorative term? Like mom?
There are numerous devils I can speak with. Mephistopheles, Satan, Lucifer.
Are they on the power to, I don't want to entertain this thought, but also are they on the power to combat a god?
Some of them might be.
well, if the stories are true, some of them at least dealt with gods. I mean, they've always lost, right? So I don't know how great their insight will be.
Unless we're dealing with
I know how to lose to a
which
god
means we
already.
need, like a god of the opposite realm that this one is. I don't know. I don't read a lot.
That would require us identifying whence this god comes.
I'm curious. Synth Devil. Dustin seemed to say that this was a new god, right? But it's an avatar, right? So what's here is just a vessel. So I believe that the body is definitely new. Is it possible that this is just a very old, forgotten god? Would all of the? I mean, it sounds like he contacted all of the different eldritches. Would that knowledge be present to them? I just want to.
Not necessarily, no. It very well could be some reformed god, taking essences from one and another, combining them, congealing them into something new, certainly. The raw creation power that would be required to generate a new deity would be considerable. I now see why Meridian had concerns about these individuals.
Oh, just now?
Okay.
Not before? Okay.
Well,
This might be kind of like building a bigger bomb. But if those three entities had unique skill sets that allowed them to do this, could we not also do it?
All things are possible for Topflight. You do the impossible. If you wish to build yourself a deity to defeat another, I'm sure such things can be done.
See, I know that's what they tell the kids, but here we are, second wave of Topflight. So obviously, not everything.
Well,
Already you have confounded the safeguards
for a single member to access the vault. He looks at Lumen and Armament. You have resurrected the dead without using any dark magic kind, virtually at no cost, for free. He looks at Teleportia. You managed to secure 2 of the corpses from there. Though your teleportals did not work at length, they were able to violate the space of this new deity, at least momentarily. He looks at Vinton, and you threw boars at him.
Indeed, I did. One successfully.
Just to replay it, he pulls it up on the screen, and you now rewatch as he shot you with a gun. It turned into 2 boars, and you threw them back. I'm simply saying, Topflight is capable of many things. No.
And for you, while we may not, I don't believe any of us in this room have the capability to do what I'm talking about. But I do think in our new positions, we may have the resources to find the people who can. So I'm not leaping to that as a first option. But the closest thing to a god on this planet before was Meridian.
As far as we know.
That
Right.
is rather accurate. Another crash of thunder, stroke of lightning, rain begins to fall again. Not centered, kind of not quite so like immediately upon you all, but you glance out and kind of looking down over sort of in that block. You can, especially those of you, Lumen and Armin with your enhanced sort of senses, you can see a large group of figures, kind of like looking at such. A couple of cops are like running forward, and you see a dude with a ball cap just kind of walk forward, like he's actually pointing up at the tower. The cops are like, cool. You see a few of them are notable. One of them is wearing a full scuba suit. One of them is very tall in like a blue coat with like a big like sea captain's hat and this large glowing Lumen, you probably appreciate this person. There's this like beacon of light glowing on his chest at the top of a symbol which looks like a kind of like a tower. The light
I don't know that man, but I believe he will be my best friend soon enough.
Mm-hmm. The light seems to be contained in like a cage or something on top of this tower that is on his sort of chest.
Wait, the light is in a cage?
Light seems to be in a cage. I'm gonna make you make a culture check because you're not from this planet.
22.
At first you're like, who would cage the light? Then you say, he is the keeper of the light, for that is a lighthouse, a beacon in the darkness.
Okay.
There are 2 other figures who are kind of like sort of shorter and sort of like, they don't appear fully human in their bearing. They have kind of very wide faces and their eyes are kind of almost like on top of their head. They're wearing sort of like tweed suits. They're just kind of like amongst this group, and they're all fanning out. You see Wanderlust again, who you thought was Dustin Howe's mother. You see a couple of other people. There's a woman who has like a fedora on. She seems to be either cool or she's really trying. But this group kind of they begin to like spread out around that block of town. You watch, and after a few moments, you do see this kind of like these planes of energy, like wreathed in sigils, glowing greens and purples, taking position around, with like a buffer of maybe another 30 feet or so. Just seems to be enclosing that. Another one seems to be forming, slowly almost knitting itself across the top, coming from all 4 sides of these planes that had been put up. You also notice Armament especially, and then Lumen even with slightly less amazing visuals. The rest of you also are clearly just watching this all on like a TV. But they appear to be like in some kind of trance, or they're in some sort of they're in the process of kind of like all gathering together to do this. But Armament, with your perception being what it is, because what you said, 22 passive for you?
It is, yes, it's 22.
So Armament, you do notice that like on the far edge, like moving in fast towards them, seem to be 3 figures. One of whom has this like giant like weapon that is being drawn, some sort of big sword. They are moving in towards them as if to attack.
How far away are we?
Well, you guys are you're about like a 3/4 of a mile away.
Okay, then I'm gonna so they've got incoming Teleportia. We need to get there now. Drop a portal.
You got it.
And as Teleportia creates a portal and you guys are all racing to run through that, that's where we will end issue 2.
Oh. Hey, that's fine. We got to refresh hero dice for this battle next time.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Yeah. Was not really any combat this week, but last week probably had plenty. Today, you guys, so basically last week I killed 7, and this week you undid 1.
Yeah!
Very good. Well, fun game.
Trying our darndest.
I guess we'll banter for a second or two, but then we'll sort of stop this thing. But fun times. You guys did interesting stuff today.
Yeah.
I love, of course, as anyone who's run any sort of like game like this, is just the absolute certainty with when you tell your players like there's huge threats, there's dire situations, this, that, whatever. Also, there's a vault of stuff. They're like, we will be going to that
The
vault.
stuff.
Yeah. 100%.
Hey, I have a Holy Avenger now, so I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
We had to. It could have been me.
Look,
I mean, it was.
what if one of the
Look at that
things in
doll.
that vault was called the God Killer's Spear? That would have been good to know about.
Yeah, what if Gungnir is just sitting there?
What if the doll can kill God?
Oh, I do think I
gosh.
want to give the
Just
doll to the
throw-
god. That is in the back of my mind.
And then the god wept. Well, very fun times. So I think on Friday, we're going to do a much more casual, not a game, just I don't know, for people who are watching this who like care about, who sort of are like, well, this is a weird rules you guys are doing where it's D&D, but not really. I'm going to kind of explain, sort of walk through some of the special rules if anyone cares about that. I guess we'd call that that's like a letters to the editor page.
Yeah.
Or that's like a backup feature, or it's like a dossier. There's so many like end material, comic book stuff we can do. So we'll try to name everything.
Was it thumbnails, pencils?
Sure. Oh yeah, it would be
A companion guide.
Yeah. So we'll be going through all of that. But excellent game tonight, everybody. You guys, you didn't allow as many superheroes to die today as you did last week.
We didn't allow them. That's
Yeah.
What
I
a
take umbrage with that
joke.
phrasing. Yeah.
And you met
Our
Dustin
little
Howell.
birds handled it.
I gotta admit, I like Dustin a lot.
I was
Yeah.
I'm ready for Pierce to meet Dustin Howell.
I
Yeah.
like him except for the fucking Red Sox hat.
Philip, I do want to know, there was one detail you left out. I want to know if when he switches into his full like eldritch garb and his hat comes down to form his hood, is there still a red bee on it?
Oh, the hat did not, just to clarify, the hat didn't shift into it. He didn't really transform. It's more like you saw like an after image.
Oh,
of,
gotcha.
Like a glimpse of like the power he's calling on. But
Gotcha.
He didn't really
Got it.
ever fully transform. Because he's Dustin Howell. He ain't about that magic. He's the master of it now, but he really ain't about that magic. He's about just like drinking a Sam Adams on the harbor.
On the harbor.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the
Just
hat
like-
shell.
like, he'd go get a cannoli from Mike's Pastry, just like, just just he's all about that. Just whatever. He also technically is. He likes Boston. He's not technically based in Boston. He's based in the Guild of Secrets, which is elsewhere in Massachusetts. We'll get to all of that later.
Because there's nothing in Western Massachusetts. Nothing exists there. It's a great place to put a Guild of Secrets.
Exactly. They know.
Or as we know it, the Guild of Shadows.
The League of Guilds. The League of Guilds.
Yeah, no, they're just out there in they're just in Worcester.
Secret of Shadows.
That's the secret.
The Shadow of Secrets.
Yeah. Well, very good, guys. Have a lovely evening to all. Thank you for enjoying issue 2.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks to everyone who tuned in.
Thanks everyone who tuned in. Very fun stuff.
Thank you.
Later.